Today's video is about to set a goals to improve in 2026. We are marching into the New Year's 2026 in the next couple of hours. It is a good video though to what to do in order to improve your chess level, right? There are some people who doesn't know what to do. Like they started the game recently or they've been playing for a lot of years. They don't know what to do. There's also another seems to be a big issue when it comes to people playing a lot of games. A lot of beginners, they may play tons of games. You assume that the more you play, the more you improve. Not necessarily. I know people that play for like 50 years, at least a couple people, and they play in the same level. They still like 1200, 1400. And they may have played more games than I have. I played like 100,000 games only, above 100,000 games at chess.com alone, not combining ever since 2000. So that's a lot of games. And I used to play a lot back then. And, I had people play more than I have, even with this record that I have, but they're still on the same level. So it's not about it's not about like how many games do you play. It's actually if you keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So if you don't know what to do, even though you look online, you look over your favorite streamer. Let's say Stellar Chess comes on top, maybe, and then Nakamura and Gotham Chess and a lot of the good creators, and you're still not improving, right? And if that's the case, you probably need to to honestly go for a chess coach, because chess coach would help you think about it this way: it's like an improve like somebody that you could depend on, what to do, what not to do in terms of like improvements, like opening wise, knowledge, what kind of mistakes I might have been doing. He correct the mistakes because he could spot the mistakes, right? He could see what kind of mistakes you're doing. Now, coaching is really it's investment in a way. Like you do pay. I'm actually doing discounts now, like bundles discounts, which kind of interesting because this may actually be good for the students. I'm not necessarily good for me, but I'm doing it so people could improve in a certain way. Like it's a good PR for me if people improve, right? If people improve, they are committed to improve further, or they could bring me more students. So it's a win-win for me. So I'm doing discounts, and I could improve any player, to be honest, and I have. People are happy with the results so far, and so basically, it's an investment in a way. Now, if you feel like coaching and paying is not effective enough, like, oh, it's expensive, things are expensive nowadays. If you play tournaments, it's gonna be more expensive. And if you cannot play tournaments and you're looking for free coaching or something, that's gonna be rough. It's difficult. It's not easy, especially when you don't know what to do. Like if you have no idea, you watch videos, you watch streamers, and still not doing anything. So you probably have to really consider coaching as something that you do have to consider it. There's no way around it. And you have to think about it this way: you play tournaments, you spend a lot of money anyway. Gas, entry fee for the tournament. Maybe you have to buy a chessboard, clocks, you name it. There's a lot that I could lay out that it is involving money. You're playing the tournament, you're likely to lose. You're not getting a prize event, like you're not winning a prize event. And you may have to do it over and over again, like meaning that you play tournaments, a couple tournaments in a year, and you're still not improving anything. So that being said, a coach would help. Like maybe he would tell you not to play tournament for now, just learn some things and then postpone the tournament. You still need tournament OTB experience, and I cannot stress this enough. Like you do have to have OTB experience at least couple tournaments in order to improve, because sometimes people see the board better and like they see the real board better than, let's say, online. You don't know. Sometimes people would play with the real board. They play better. They could perform better. They may go and win a tournament. I remember playing my first tournament and I got the second place, or I think it's the second place, and I won prize money. I did not expect that I would do this, but I was working on my game, right? So I saw the board better when it came to the tournaments. Maybe sometimes people may not see the board better. It could be equivalent to online. They are used to online play, so they are really better online than with a real board. When you play tournaments, OTB tournaments, you press the clock, you record your moves. There's a contact with your opponent. You shake hands. Sometimes eye contact when there's a blunder happening, perhaps tension, time pressure. There's a lot of experience that you do have to experience this kind of stuff on the OTB side that you don't see online. Online there's a pre-move. You don't see the opponent. You're not really recording the moves. The clock is, you're not bringing a clock. There's a lot of things that is a shortcut for OTB tournaments. Now you could postpone OTB tournaments, but the point of this video, you want to start with the new year. You take a break, maybe today and tomorrow, and even next week, and you start this month, 2026, playing tournaments. If you have been postponing it, consider it, because you probably need to see if you're able to play better over the board or not. Coaching, if you're still struggling, you want to hire coaching, because this is actually going to take you over the top. It's better investment than playing OTB, perhaps, right? Because the coach would tell you what to do, what kind of mistakes. Again, you play a lot of games. You need to know what your mistakes are so you could fix them in your games. When you play a lot of games on your own, you're just making the same mistakes over and over again. You could make the same mistakes for 50 years, not 5 years, not 10, 20, 50 years. That's kind of sad in a way. Right? It's kind of sad in a way if people play amount of these games and they don't improve. You could learn from your games if you play stronger opponents. And then after the opponents, you talk to them, asking them where I went wrong. But online, you don't have this ability. You don't have this ability. You may have coaching to know why you went wrong, but your opponent is not going to talk to you, right? He's just likely to say good game, and he plays the next game, right? So, long story short, you want to set up a plan for yourself, coaching, bundle discount, which is something I've been doing. You don't have to go for my services. You could go elsewhere. I mean, it's just the options are always open for the students, not me. You could always pick what you ever want to do. You could also depend on the free resources if you could effectively use them well. People could use the free resources, but they are not sure what to do about it. Like, where's my weaknesses, and what to do about them. They may not aware of it. Like, where's my weaknesses? Sometimes people feel like they are weak on ending games, but maybe that's not the issue. Maybe it's opening, right? So this is some of the stuff you probably need to do. Now, if you started the game from today and you're all the way to 1700 USCF or federated player, you may have to hit puzzles hard. It doesn't matter which puzzles. Do not spend some time comparing sites, whether I do Lead Chess, or chess.com or any other websites. You probably need to start working. That's the point of this video. Start working, doing the tactics. Do not compare sites for the next year, 2027. You want to start working right now. The idea is work. Do a couple puzzles before work if you have time to do before work, after work, if you go to school, before going to school, maybe between the bus ride and going back and forth. That's what I used to do. And maybe during breaks, you could do puzzles. If you're on this low level, puzzles is the only way to improve. Not playing. Again, we talked about playing. So when you play a lot of puzzles, you do a lot of puzzles, your brain start to see the patterns later, doesn't it? So maybe from next week all the way to 6 months, 7 months from now, do a routine kind of thing. The routine will be doing puzzles, hitting puzzles really hard. Maybe you could do 20 puzzles a day, make it 50 at one point, 100 at some point, a day, not a week, not 2 weeks, not monthly. Has to be a daily routine. People log in at chess.com, I noticed. They play a lot every day, but they don't necessarily do puzzles every day. So they play more, they do less puzzles. But the fact is, puzzles has to be increased, like doing a lot of puzzles and playing less. And once your puzzles get better, when you start playing, you're fixing the problems, you start winning. And then you can start playing more to see how far are you going. Like, are you winning? Did you gain 200 points, 100 points, 50 points? And also playing online or offline, like you playing OTB tournaments. So you have to consider all these options. If you're in the level where you're 2000, and then you want to get to master level, 200 points, assuming you want to be local national master. It's not tactics, it's going to be more positional. positional chess that's going for you, and so you probably have to do a lot of notation games. You probably need to start now or next week. I would say next week, so people have, people are still like in the vacation, holidays. So maybe sometime next week, 2026, you start getting effectively working on notation, on it, annotation of games, commentary of games, like an explanation of kind of games. Like you don't want to be like only doing like pawn structure, positional ideas. You want to do like a broad, like pawn structure, bishop knight activity, uh, end the game study as well, king safety, rook activity, like taking the file from your opponent. How could you make your pieces better overall? Like, when you do an exchange, is it better? Bishop is better than the knight. People assume bishops are always better, but that's not a good thing, though. That's because bishops are better. It doesn't mean that you do exchange every single, you do a lot of exchanges that deals with bishops. What if your position is closed? You probably need the knights. So what the position tells you need to do, not just assume what, like guidelines where bishops are always better. That term alone is not correct. Double pawns are always bad. That's not correct. It just depends on the position, right? So you want to do a lot of positional study. Once you increase your positional study, explanation of the moves, it almost feels like it's lessons, right? But you could do this online, on top of maybe lessons. Um, Once you increase your positional understanding, when you're 2000, it gets better. Like you're gonna be master sooner or later, and then work on your ending games. We saw Magnus somehow knight couple pawns against against one of the top GMs, and he still wins. The man wins with anything when it comes to ending game. And the games really would take everybody over the top. Assuming your positional understanding got really better, your ending game would be really crucial because you could win like equal games. You could save games. Magnus is a good example for that. The fact that he's saving a lot of games, winning games out of nowhere when it comes to ending games, not really the middle games. So if you study positional chess, fast enough, effectively every day, go for like master games, Magnus games, Kasparov old games, Karbov games, Fischer games, explanation of the moves. So you could buy books or maybe online resources that explain the moves as a whole. You don't want to do like pawn structure. So what if you do pawn structure, you don't understand it? What happens on the other positional ideas, right? Positional sacrifices does exist. How you could sacrifice a piece that doesn't have to be tactical and you could still win games positionally. This kind of terms and ideas have to be in practice. Like you go over a lot of games, right? If you do this on top of playing tournaments, assuming you're 2000, you are playing tournaments, that's going to take you over the top, right? And for beginners, you do have to experience OTB tournaments and play. You have to play. You have a coach and OTB tournaments, right? I know sometimes people doesn't want to play OTB. It's too early. There's no too early. I mean, too early for what? You never know. You may start winning. Whatever you learn, you apply it on the chessboard. It's not the opposite. So you eventually have to get the experience. Once you play a couple tournaments, you don't need to play like a lot of tournaments. You can depend online because online is easier to play, easier access to computer, laptops, tablet, phones. You could effectively play every day, but you cannot play every day OTB tournaments. So keep this in mind. Start working on your game 2026. Consider this month, like an improvement month, but you just want to go all the way to a couple months ahead of time to do an improvement. People sometimes they start really hard. 1 week, they skip the other week. You cannot really improve that way. It has to be like a short-term, long-term kind of commitment. Just like lessons, you're assuming you take lessons for 1 week, you want to improve 100 points. I mean, even if I were to take lessons from Magnus Carlsen himself, I'm not going to improve like 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 month or 2 months. I'm going to improve over a period of time, like whatever he tells me. I actually could improve people in less time, assuming they really work hard on their games. Like I tell them to do something and they do it right away. They could start improving, but the brain doesn't function that way. It would have to take some time, right? To whatever you're learning, you just apply it in practice. And let's say I give the student something to do, he said, "Oh, I was busy certain week, I cannot do it." So, there's always commitment that you need to do design commitment for chess, right? And that's like a long-term kind of thing. So even if I were to take lessons from Magnus just to finish the story, I would not really improve if I don't do whatever he tells me in the course of a time, right? So there's no magic when it comes to like there's no magic when it comes to improvements. What even with lessons, it has to be commitment. Just like when you do tactics alone, it's commitment, 5-6 months improvement, not meant to be like for 6 weeks, and not meant to be for a couple of hours a day and we skip the entire thing the next month. It has to be a long term for some time. I consider tactical short term because once you've done it, it's over. Like you don't have to go back. Then you go for a different stage, like end game study. So studying tactics is probably short term if you effectively do it every day. So consider this video as an improving point to start improving. Hopefully you will. That video is for you, people that really want to improve in the 2026. So hopefully that video really connects with a lot of audience and you start improving in 2026. I will see you guys by the next video, but before I end, happy holidays and happy new year. Take a break for now, and by next week start improving. Start making a plan to improve your game, and I will see you guys by the next video. Take care, folks.